Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now before I get into what we're going to be doing today, I just want to say that I'm really thankful for 1,000 views on my channel. My channel just reached 1,000 views. I just checked a few days ago. I was elated. I am so thankful for all the support you guys have been giving me. And yeah, I guess that's it. I'm really hoping to get my videos across to more people the faster I can. That would be really helpful to both them and to me. And yeah, just once again, thank you so much. Now let's get into the topic of the video. Now, I'm assuming that most of you know what TicTacToe is. It's a really fun, simple, but fun game that a lot of people play. Now, I thought it would be interesting to try to recreate that in Python, and I guess it's a good idea to use your Python skills in this way, because making fun games with Python is really something that, at least for me, it makes me feel happy, and I'm sure it does for a lot of you guys out there too. So first we're gonna begin. So this function, we're gonna get into that. This is the first part of the video. For the second part, that's another video. You can watch that in the top right. There's gonna be like a link right about now. Okay, so now let's get into this is the first part. I'm just gonna be explaining how to set up the board and how to take the input from the user. Okay, so first we have this function turn indicator turn. Well, it just takes in it's a simple function. It just takes in an argument turn, and what it does is, if we use a modulo operator, so if turn is odd, then we just return 1x. This is a tuple that we're going to be using later. Or else, if it's even, then we're just going to return 2. So you know how there are 2 players in TicTacToe. This will be an indicator of whose turn it is, the first player or the second player. And this is the turn variable. We're going to be looking into that as well. And this is the scanner, and we're going to be looking at that's going to be the second part of the video to determine how somebody would win the game. Now, this is a board for the game TicTacToe. Now, if you don't already know, this is called a 2-dimensional list. Now, what that means is that this list it's a nested list. So I have this list over here, and I also have this list and the list below that. But they're all elements of a bigger list defined by these 2 square brackets. So it's multiple. So it's like a list inside a list. That's what we call a 2-dimensional list. And if it's like a list inside of a list, that's a 3-dimensional, and it keeps on going. But this is what we're going to use: the first list for the first row, the second list for the second row, the third list for the third row, and yeah. So that's, if we want to index that, then we would, usually we would index something like this, TicTacToe, and then index that as like 1 or 0, for example. But this time we're going to be doing like TicTacToe and then 0. But then we're gonna have to do like another 0, for example. So if we do TicTacToe 0, like this one, then we'll get the first. We'll get the first list, right? Because that's the first element of TicTacToe. And if we want this list, the inner list, if you want that list's first element, then we have to like basically nest the indexing as well. All right, now let's get into the main while loop that controls the game flow. Now, while true, turn plus equals to 1, so that just every turn adds 1 to the variable turn. And back here in turn indicator, either it's odd or even, it keeps switching, and this indicator, it will determine whose turn it is. Now we can print its player, and then we use a turn indicator function, and then we put the turn. And you know how it returns like a tuple? We're going to use the first one in there, so like the first element, 0th index. We're going to use, we need the whatever turn it is. We're going to use the letter later on. But right now we just need the number of the turn. So this would, for example, say player turn chooses, or I'm sorry, player 1 chooses, or player 2 chooses. All right. Now we're gonna take a variable coordinate. It's core, short for coordinates. And then equals to input. Enter the row, a space, and then the column. Enter the row, space, and column. So what that means is, for example, if you wanted to place your X or like O at row 2, column 1, you would enter 2 space 1. And that's how we're gonna take in whatever coordinate the user wants to put their letter on. Now we're gonna use a try and accept just to make sure that the user doesn't put in invalid coordinates. Let me just spell that right. Coordinates, because if they do like put in like 4 or something, or maybe they what this is doing is I know it looks like a lot, and it's confusing, but I promise it'll make sense. It's just saying that if TicTacToe, and then if that coordinate, and if that coordinate, basically if the coordinate the user is entering, if that is if that's empty, right? Like for example, you know it's empty. We define an empty square as a dash. So if the user puts in a coordinate, we change that to whatever the user's letter is. So from the same tuple here, we're gonna take the first element, the first index, or the second element. So we're gonna be taking like X or O. That will be our marker for for each player's respective letter. Now, if this doesn't work, if the user enters something else, or if the square is already occupied or something, it's just going to print invalid coordinates. Please try again. And it just basically cancels this whole thing. That's why it subtracts turn by 1 and basically goes to the next iteration like nothing happened. So yeah, that's how this part of the code works. We can just set up a board like this and take in the input from the user and mark their letter. So let's just try to run this and see if it works. Enter the player 1 chooses. Enter the row, a space, and then a column. For example, if you want to replace, okay, so all that. Now let's say I wanted to put it at 2, 2. So I put it at the very center. Now, if the second player wants to put it at something like 1, 3, and they could put it right there. And you could just keep putting like that. And we haven't quite gotten, I'm not going to put everything like into one video, but this is what we're going to use to find out who wins the game, right? So don't forget to check that out in the second part of this video. The video that contains the second part of this project. So that was it for this video. I hope you liked it, and please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the like button and share the videos with your friends. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.